Shabbat Shalom from Temple Concord. This week our Torah portion has a wonderful lesson on siblings. Our Torah so far from the beginning of Genesis to now has had all sorts of interesting sibling pieces in it. We learned about Cain and Abel, where Cain killed Abel, which is obviously not a great example for siblings. And we had Jacob and Esau, where the two fought over the birthright. But in this week's Torah portion, Vayishlach, the two reconcile. They come back together. And when they do so, it's not an easy moment for either one. Jacob sends everybody to the other side of the river, spends the night by himself, camped out, and he's in fear. He really spends a whole night fearful of what his brother might do. We don't know what Esau decides to do, but we can only imagine that Esau may too have felt that fear, wondering what Jacob wanted, wondering what Jacob was up to, wondering what would become of him in this encounter. Ultimately, the two found that their connection as siblings allowed them to move forward and have that meeting. And it was in that meeting that they could reconcile. So many of those parts of that conversation and that set of events still matter for us. How often are we driven by fear, especially when we're dealing with our family members? How often do we let fear stop us from reaching out, from trying to make peace, from trying to reconcile? How often do we say, I wonder how they'll think. I wonder what they're up to. Am I adequate enough? And yet Jacob and Esau say, there comes a point where you've got to put that aside. You've got to find a way to trust that your brother is your brother, your sister is your sister, mother, father, doesn't matter, and move forward. If you've been in my study at the temple here, you've seen I've got pictures of my siblings on the wall. We're all 2 years apart. I'm the youngest of four. Certainly all of us have fought with each other. We all have little squabbles here and there. But we also know at the end of the day that our siblings are the people with whom we share the most of our lives. They were there at the beginning. With a little luck, they'll be there at the end. And they're the ones with whom we really travel life's journey. And so even though we might squabble once in a while, even though we might disagree, even though we might live in different places or have different interests, there comes a point where the role of sibling trumps all. And it's a lesson that we try to teach our own children most of the time as well. I know with my children, I certainly try to teach that, and I suspect you do with yours too. So it is the role of siblings, the importance of siblings, the importance of not allowing fear or discord or the past to color our relationships, to see in our sibling an eternal partner, one who can always be with us, who can always travel with us. That's the message and the power of Jacob and Esau. Yes, there was stealing. Yes, there was discord. But at the end, there is understanding, and there is a sense of reconciliation, and there is hope for the next generation. I hope you'll join us at the temple for this Shabbat. Services Friday evening will be at 6 o'clock. Our children's choir, Shirat Shalom Singers, will be leading us in worship. We're excited to have them singing with us for the first time this school year. Saturday morning services are at 11, preceded, of course, by text study at 9 and by Torah study at 10. And over the course of the next week, we have all sorts of classes and opportunities for learning and for growing and for celebrating here at the temple. Hanukkah is coming in just a couple of weeks. You'll see all sorts of fun things going on for that. And more than all of that, I look forward to seeing you at the temple. Shabbat Shalom.